This is DVD number 1 to the videotape deposition of Carla Santilli in the matter of Rogerio Santilli and Carla Santilli versus Pepijn van Erp et al. Case number 817 CV-1797 T33 MAP. This deposition is being held at Reisdorf Reporting Group, 3411 Alternate 19 North, Suite A, Palm Harbor, Florida. Today's date is April 16, 2018, and the time is approximately 1:35 p.m. My name is David Furman. I am the videographer. The court reporter is Aaron Perkins. Counsel, will you please introduce yourselves for the record?
Joseph Parrish for the plaintiffs.
James Lake, counsel for defendants Pepijn van Erp and Frank Israel.
Will the court reporter please swear in the witness, and we will proceed.
Ma'am, would you please raise your hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you'll provide is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
And
Ms. Santilli, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Again, for the record, although we met this morning, my name is James Lake, and I appreciate you being here today for me to ask you some questions about the case. I will reiterate the instructions I gave Dr. Santilli, and I know you were here for them, but just so everybody's clear, if any question I ask is unclear or confusing in any way, please let me know, and I will try to clarify that for you, okay?
Okay.
Yes. And then again, if a break is needed for any reason at any time, just let me know, and we'll be happy to take a break. Thank you. Have you had your deposition taken before?
No.
Okay. What did you do to prepare for this deposition?
I prepared, actually I didn't need any preparation because I provided a lot of information, and I have been looking at this case for 7 years, so I'm well prepared.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. With regard to the deposition in particular, did you meet with Mr. Parrish?
No, well, a few minutes before, that's all.
Okay. All right. As I think you know, 3 depositions were taken last week in this case of Mr. Wainwright, Mr. Tadson, and Hermano Santilli.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to talk to them about their depositions?
Today?
At any time since
At
then?
any time, yes, I did. And not about my deposition, I just asked them how did they feel about it. But I didn't say, you know. My son basically told me nothing. He's the one.
My son is the same way on other subjects.
He didn't really went into the, plus, you know, and then the other two witnesses, they said that they had the deposition, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you a little about your educational background.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to summarize this in the interest of time. I will tell you this information came from the Thunder Energy's 10K, so I'm pretty confident it's accurate, but if you could just help me with that. I understand you have a master's from Boston University, is that right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you worked as a community program coordinator for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, is that right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Today, you're treasurer, secretary, and a director of Thunder Energies, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're a director of Magnagas Corporation.
Yes.
Okay. And since the 1980s, you've been president and chief executive officer of Hadronic Press, right?
Yes.
And I understand that's a physics and mathematics academic publishing company?
Yes.
Great. And in that capacity, I understand you directed the growth of the company from startup to become one of the world's leading physics and math publishing companies, correct?
Yes.
Right. Books and journals published by Hadronic Press can be found in all the leading university libraries around the world. Right. And you've been involved in the private sector, I understand, as a grant administrator and public relations specialist, right?
Yes.
Specifically in the fields of academic publishing and environmental sciences?
Yes.
Yes, great. And I understand you've been an invited speaker at international conferences. Is that right?
No.
Well, the one I'm thinking about, let me be more specific. Were you invited to speak at something called the Dreamers Day Conference in Italy in 2016?
Say it again,
Sure. Were you invited to speak at a conference called the Dreamers Day?
Oh, yes, we did.
Okay.
We were not there.
Yeah, but we didn't go because we were threatened.
Oh, wow.
And there is a letter somewhere of a document that you just presented. And I forgot about that. There is a letter, an email by Corda that replies to the blog of Pepijn van Herp when he announced that, and he said they have been invited and I hope they will not be disappointed. So Corda wrote back saying, I'm going to kick you, da da da. You have it in your letter, in one of the email.
My life, personal life was threatened during the participation by Corda and Van Herp. They threatened.
So then I'm glad you remind me that. So what we did, Ruggero and I, we made 2 videos and sent it to them. And the Dreamers Day was a group of young people in Milan who meet occasionally. Well, I know every year. Now I don't know if they met again. But basically, they meet to kind of help each other, support each other, see that you can dream big thing and you can achieve.
Okay.
That's the only, yeah.
So you did not appear in person, but
No,
you sent a
no,
video.
but we sent a video, yes.
Okay. And just so that Aaron is able to take things down, if you would make sure I've finished my question before you answer.
Right, of course,
Thank
of course.
you. Thank you very much.
I'm not strong in that, so
I understand.
I'm a mama, so.
And Dr. Santilli, just to let you know, when she's got a question, you're not really allowed to answer for her, because then they could say that
Yes,
you're
of-
impressing your opinions on her. So if you could let her just answer.
Thank you for
Okay.
reminding me. But,
Okay. I know you get.
but in this
we are both.
In this case, however, I was personally threatened by Corda and.
Yeah, we
Van
forgot
Herp.
about.
So this has not appeared nowhere so far. You should know. Never
I-
appeared. This physical threat has not appeared in this.
Yeah, it's written in an email. The email that you mentioned in the back, he said, if you don't do this, I'm going to come in Milan and kick you, da 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 da. So that's it.
Okay.
But I did not, because the attorney did not give me time to elaborate.
Well, we're gonna, but you're
Yeah.
not done yet. So we're gonna,
Okay.
they're gonna come back and
Okay,
ask you more questions later. So you'll have
I'll
time.
be totally silent unless authorized. Thank you.
Okay.
Mrs. Santilli,
Yes.
let me show you a document we've marked Exhibit V53 and see if you recognize this.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just see.
Please. Oh, yes.
So what am I supposed to do with this?
Well-
Say it if I know it? Because here it talks about tweet.
I was going to ask you some questions. I just wanted to give you a chance to look at it first.
Yeah, no, of course I know this, recent tube, etc. Yes, but this is a composite. It's
okay.
not just one. It's like 2 pieces together,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Let me ask you some questions
Yeah.
about this. As I read this document, it's a tweet from an account in the name of Carla Santilli, and the Twitter account name is @Hadron1Carla. Do you see that at the very top?
Yes, I do.
And is that your Twitter account?
Yeah, yes, I do, and I recall very well when this was a Twitter. I'm not sure. I never used Twitter, and since Pepijn van Herp started to tweet that you could see some other Twitters. You see that he tweet underneath. I forgot about this as well. I mean, one more thing. He started to say, you know, oh, now I see that your son is involved as well, your daughter. I mean, there was a whole thing about the Twitter, and I wasn't able to use the Twitter, and I made a mistake, and I sent out this, which I didn't want to send. So it was an error
Okay.
that I completely forgot. I don't know if it needs to go somewhere.
Yes, where have we got the originals? That's perfect. Thank you very much.
I have it. I have it.
Yeah, okay.
Let me ask about some things I suspect you're familiar with from your experience in the publishing industry.
Yes?
You're familiar with a publisher called Springer, aren't you?
Excuse me.
Is a publisher named Springer, S-P-R-I-N-G-E-R?
Of course. Woo.
Yep.
Yes.
In fact, I think you have some Springer books there with you,
Well,
don't you?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
It's published. I was going to say at least one, but apparently it was
No,
4 or
we have
5 of
4,
Dr.
one.
Santilli's works,
Yeah,
right?
2, 3,
So it's a
4.
respected book publisher, correct?
It is.
Okay. And I think you already actually mentioned a moment ago that you're familiar with a scientist named Christian Corda.
Yes.
Okay. And he wrote an article responding to Dr. Santilli's work concerning the general theory of relativity, correct?
Yes.
I just want to ask you if this appears to be a copy of that article. Let
Okay.
me mark it first.
Carla should not be interviewed on technical issue. I object about this. This is very insidious what this gentleman is doing.
We can disqualify it as not expert.
Carla, she's not a scientist.
Okay, this is okay, Ruggero.
Carla, one moment, because this is a very insidious issue on technical issue. She's not a scientist. And I object a question, technical question.
No, okay.
Technical should deal with question this time. Attorney Parish, there's another moment which we decide whether to stay or leave.
Okay.
And then we go to the judge.
Okay. We'll object to Carla
Yeah, well,
testifying
I
with
think I
anything
have my
that's-
own objection to this. Okay, this is a paper that is written, published online. It is open access paper for which I checked, and they pay $3,000 publication charges. It's written by 3 people, Korda, Katebi, and Schmidt, and they tried to publish this in several places, and then they had to modify it because the all articles were criticizing and saying, paper dedicated to the 80th birthday of Ruggero Santilli with the hope that paper published to the 80th birthday of Ruggero Santilli with the hope that he will revise his claim in gravitation and cosmology. This was much longer in the other paper that they attempted to publish, and they even attempted to publish in ArcSciv, and they did not accept it because this was was longer and was very demeaning. So they reduced it to this. And so I'm not a scientist. I'm not able to say whether they're right or wrong, but I know the story of this paper.
Thank you very much. That was all I wanted to ask you about. I
Okay.
don't have any technical questions.
They call me Mr.
No, I don't.
Called
Huh?
doctor. The other, they call me Mr. The other called doctor.
Well, I don't know. I don't understand that. Anyway.
We've just met today, so I may ask you some things that you weren't involved in, but
Of course.
I'm just trying
Of course,
to
yes,
find out.
I have no problems.
Are you involved at the website scientificethics.org?
Not at all.
Okay. So you haven't written articles that appeared on that website?
Not at all.
All right. As president and CEO of Hadronic Press, you're familiar with other scientific publishers, correct?
Yes, to a certain extent.
To a certain
because
extent.
many publishers that were with us, smaller publishers, they're all being absorbed by bigger publishers now. All the publishers are all big, and I don't have knowledge of their big business because it involves publishing, involves many other things. So I'm familiar with some aspects of publishing.
Are you familiar with the Science Publishing Group?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so you know that one of those Science Publishing Group titles is the American Journal of Modern Physics, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And that journal has published articles commenting on Dr. Santilli's research, correct?
Yes, I don't know the articles, but I know about it.
Sure. Okay.
Mainly through Pepijn van Erp description.
Okay. Let me show you a document we've marked V55.
No, but this is.
And I will tell you what this is to give you some reference. I went to the Science Publishing Group website
Yes.
and did a search for articles with the name Dr. Santilli's name in the title, and these are works I found, and it appears there's an issue devoted, or at least focusing on, foundations of hadronic mathematics in the American Journal of Modern Physics. Do you see that?
Yes.
Are you familiar with that particular issue?
Not that I recall right now.
Okay.
Because there were several.
Okay. Let me just ask you, if you know, the names of some of the authors. The first one is Richard Anderson.
No, I
You
don't.
know him. I see he's also listed as the lead guest editor. Does that help identify him?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not familiar with that particular role.
Okay. The second article is by, it appears, Chun-Swan Yang.
Yes?
Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. How about the third one, Svetlin Georgiev?
No, Svetliv
Thank you.
Georgiev.
Georgiev.
Yes, I know him very well.
Okay. Tell me what you know about him.
He is a
This one is from
top mathematician that was at the Sofia University and then was at Sorbonne. And I know him because he attended some of the conferences that we organized. And I also know that I know him especially because he wrote 6 books on Rugger's mathematics, Foundations of Isodifferential Calculus, okay? And he wrote 6 books, and the reason I knew more about it also because at some point, Pepijn van Erp said that evidently we had paid for having him publish these books. These books are published by Nova Publishers, which is a publisher in New York, and I have I knew it because they advertised the book, and before advertising it, he sent us he informed us that the Nova was publishing the book, and this is I would like this to be placed in some type of record.
Sure, we can mark that
Yeah,
as
we
an
can
exhibit.
do that, and I'm going to read some of the book description. Author: Svetlin Georgiev, Faculty of Mathematics and Informatics, Department of Differential Equation, Sofia University, Sofia, Bulgaria. He wrote it in this capacity as professor of Sofia, as I said before.
Carla,
Book description.
Carla, when you're reading, try to read a little bit slower so that Aaron can
I'm
type
sorry.
everything down.
I told you. Okay, book description. The genius idea is the Santilli's generalization of the basic unit of quantum mechanics into an integral differential operator. This depends on local variables, and it is assumed to be the inverse of the isotopic elements. Open bracket, the Santilli isounit, close. It was believed for centuries that the differential calculus is independent of the assumed basic unit, since the latter was traditionally given by the trivial number 1. Santilli has disproved this belief by showing that the differential calculus can be dependent on the assumed unit by formulating the isodifferential calculus with basic isodifferentials. In this book, meaning the author, meaning Georgiev, the authors introduced the main definition and properties of isonumbers, isofunctions, and isodifferentials. The book is provided with examples and exercises, making it suitable for an introductory 1 or 2 semester undergraduate course on some of the major aspects of isodifferential calculus. Alternatively, it may be used for graduate level course and as a reference work. With exercises at the end of each chapter and the straightforward writing style, the book addresses readers who have no prior knowledge of the subject but have a basic background in graduate mathematics, theory of function, and differential calculus. So this I would like to have at this.
Okay.
This one has also. And
I'm sorry, before you keep reading, can we go ahead and mark that? I don't want to get out of
I
order
think
here.
it's together. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's together with this one. No, we need to give them both because one is the book and one is the advertisement. Yeah.
The page you were reading from is
That
this
one,
has
yes, I was
Nova
reading
Science Publishers on the heading.
Yes.
Okay, before you read, let me get this marked. I don't want to not mark things correctly. Okay.
Yeah, it is a press release that they did with that.
Okay, so
And after.
Just a moment, just want to make sure we got this right. Volume 56 is what Mrs. Santilli was reading from. And then you have a book in front of you, and you've given me the cover page and the title page from that book, and we'll mark that 57.
Exactly.
Okay. And because we're marking these
And I'm looking, I also need another attachment to that, where it says, announcement, we picked that the editor-in-chief is Svetlin Georgiev, who has written 5 volumes, they were 6, on the isomathematics of Santilli. I wonder how much Santilli paid for that service.
Okay, and that will mark as
yes,
volume, I'm sorry, V58.
And also, when I'm allowed, I will continue about this book, just briefly.
Please.
Because this book contains several chapters. This is volume 1, and there are several, and one of the chapters is particularly relevant to this whole boogaboo about antimatter. Santilli isodual mathematics for antimatter. Santilli isodual mathematics for antimatter. Isodual, yeah.
One single word.
If you wanna see the word,
That's fine.
okay. And then there are several other places where Santilli is nominated, basically the entire book, but I'm not an expert, so I'm not going on more.
All right, let me ask you to look back at Exhibit 55, the
Yeah.
list I gave you from the Science Publishing Group website. The author at item 4 we've already asked about. So at item 5, the author is Thomas Vogiopoulos. I may not be pronouncing that right.
Where is that?
At the very bottom of the page.
Of course, wow,
Vogiopoulos.
Thomas Vogiopoulos.
Do you know Mr. Vogiopoulos?
Yes, very well. Professor Vogiopoulos is very well, is a leading mathematician in the city of Xanthi at the University of Thrace in Greece.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you know, and that's, I would like to read the title because it's relevant to this whole thing. Hypermathematics, high structures, hypernumbers, hypermatrices, and Lee Santilli admissibility.
Okay.
Sorry, Santilli and
Admissibility.
disability. Gotcha.
If you would turn the page, the 6th article listed includes the names of 2 authors,
Whoa.
Raul Falcon, or Falcon perhaps,
Yes.
and Juan Nunez. Do you know either of those authors?
Excuse me, can you repeat? Is the one Raul Falcon?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you brought this out because these 2 gentlemen, they wrote a book, and the title of the book is in Spanish, La Isoteoria de Santilli. And this book was published in 2001.
Okay.
So they wrote this book, and then they continue to publish and attend the conferences, which are at the basis of this whole theory and discussion we had.
And you,
So
and
I don't know them personally, however.
have you met them?
No, excuse me? No, I never. I just said that I never met them, but I know about them.
Okay. We already asked about the gentleman listed at number 7.
Yeah.
And although actually I see they both have the same last name. Maybe perhaps there are brothers who are co-authors?
Who?
T. Vogiopoulos
Oh,
and S.
okay. One
Vogiopoulos?
is the daughter.
Oh, daughter. Okay.
One is the daughter, Susanna Vogiopoulos,
Okay.
and Thomas Vogiopoulos.
Okay. And then number 8, of course, is a Dr. Santilli
Yes.
work. Number 9, Richard Anderson, we already talked about
Yeah.
him. Do you know who paid the article fees to get these works published in the American Journal of Modern Physics?
No, I really don't know.
Okay.
I can answer that question.
But you
No,
know,
no.
you answer another time.
Okay.
This is yours or mine? No, don't let me walk away with anything.
No problem.
Let me ask you about one other American Journal of Modern Physics article. We've marked this as 59. Let's take a look, if you would, and see if you recognize that.
I don't recognize the article because I cannot read all the articles. I recognize the authors.
Okay, tell me what you know about the authors. I see the
Okay.
first one is Behela.
Simone Behela Bartoli
Thank you.
is an engineer specializing in trajectory of, I not say the right word, but is specializing in trajectory of, excuse me, asteroids, and also he has a PhD in physics and astrophysics. Prashant Bujbai, let me just see.
That's a master in England.
Yeah, he's a master in
Master
England.
in physics.
He's a master in...
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, as I said, I know about them, but I don't know completely.
I understand.
And then Prashant Bujbai, I know he about him, but I'm not sure if I ever met him. Possibly yes. Alex Nass, he was an engineer long time ago that specialized in cameras and in lenses, but I cannot say more than that.
Okay. And according to the footnotes, the first author is associated with the Institute for Basic Research, or was at the time the article was published. Does that
I
seem
really
right to
don't
you?
know.
You don't know?
I really
Okay.
don't know. He's in Italy, so it's possible that he had some
Okay.
association, but I really don't know about him.
Okay. And Alex Nass, the footnote says, is affiliated with Thunder Energy.
Right, I just said so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just trying to be clear. Thank you. Do you know who paid the fees to have this work published in the American Journal of Modern
No, I
Physics?
don't. I'm not very involved in this.
Okay. Do you know if Thunder Energies paid these authors to write this article?
No,
No, it did not? Or
no,
you
did
don't
not.
know?
Because I
It did
think
not.
that Alex Nass was a consultant on and off. But if he was paid exactly to write this, I don't know.
Okay.
And the same for Begela Bartoli, and the same for the Indian person. Because in India, there is a very large group of mathematicians and physicists that study Ruggiero's theory, and they wrote articles among themselves or with Ruggiero and with other people, but I will know more than that.
Okay. Thank you. Those were the only questions I had about that one. Let me ask you just generally about the Science Publishing Group. What is its reputation in the publishing industry, if you know?
It's the reputation of a foreign, first of all, he is specializing in open access journals. Open
Okay.
access journals are journals that all publishers, Elsevier, American Institute of Physics, American Mathematical Society, they place to be free downloading, or obviously always with some type of a login, etc. From the internet, and the authors contribute in some way to the publication. They're called either publication charges or publication support, and many times people who have grants use the money of their grants to pay for this.
Okay.
And they're called open access journals.
Okay. Exhibit 60, V60, is a page from the American Journal of Modern Physics website on the Science Publishing Group website.
Article processing charges.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with this particular website.
Okay.
I mean, possibly they're just repeating what I just said. Why editorial work, peer review, they say, why do you have to publish? Because, you know, libraries now have very small budgets. So many authors have to resort to being in open access. And probably that explains why, but I really don't know more. Let me just see what else they have here.
Sure.
How do you author pay? Who is responsible? The corresponding author will be notified. I really am not familiar with this whole discussion.
Okay. But I think it is consistent with what you told me a second ago. And
Exactly.
in this case, it appears that the article processing charge for the American Journal of Modern Physics was to be $970 at this time. Does that
I
seem
don't know.
right?
I don't know, because it depends if it's the because also there is a whole tier of charges.
Object to the
If
formula last question.
if this
I got it.
Ruggero, if this is sent to if the payment is done by a grant, it's probably $900. If it's paid by a small author who lives in India, it's probably $100. And probably, I mean, this is common practice with everybody. So I really cannot say whether it's right or wrong.
Okay. Do you know if the American, well, sorry, not the American Journal of Modern Physics specifically. I meant to ask you about Science Publishing Group in general.
Yeah.
Has Science Publishing Group been called a scam?
Everybody is called a
Object to the
scam.
form of the question.
So the Science Publishing Group is being the first time I heard about being called a scam is through Pepijn van Erp, who cited the Bill's list, saying that it was called a scam. The journal was called a scam. And then I was looking, and I found that many people did not agree with that list, professors and so forth. A publisher from Canada started a lawsuit against Bells, to the point that in January 15, 2017, Bell list was taken down. So my opinion is that that list has no value. If Bell calls it and then he disavows his own work, other people who call a scam are just jumping on whatever.
Okay. Let me show you some articles and see what they appear to be to you.
Yes.
Volume 61, I'm sorry, V61. Does that appear to be an article titled Science Publishing Group, a Complete Scam?
Well, wow. Yes, it is, but this is Emerald City Journal. It's probably Seattle newspaper for the people, by the people. I don't think it has a good reputation at all, this journal. So to me, it doesn't make any text, doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Was created for the people to express their views and voices. Is a Seattle newspaper that gives everyone a voice. The Emerald City Journal is opinion newspaper for everyone wanted to share their voice with the world. I worry when I see these words in publishing.
Okay.
I really do.
Just a moment. We need some more labels.
It's recorded.
What's our last one on the agenda?
That next one will be 63. Thank you. Sure. Let me show you what we've marked as Exhibit V62, and does that appear to be a online article with the headline, "The Predatory Beat Goes On"?
Yeah, in the pipeline,
Yes.
Derek Law comments on drug discovery and the pharma industry, an editorial independent blog from the publisher of Science Translational Medicine. So how is this related to?
Yeah, let me ask you a question about it. If you'll turn to the second page,
Yeah.
there are comments on this article, and if you look at the one at the middle of the page, it's dated, that's from Luke Garros. I may not be pronouncing the name right. And it says that it refers to Science Publishing Group as an empire of bogus scientific journals. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this is like Luke Garros is, who knows, is somebody in a blog, has no value to me. Plus this was you see, this whole game about this date in which the list was taken down did not go well with many of these people who write in blogs, etc., etc. So they start to revive it. But to me, if the author doesn't want this, said that his list is no longer good to be in the internet, people should not cite it. Then I have no value. To me, this has absolutely no value.
Okay. Let me show you.
Can I get some water? Just
Of course.
A moment. Okay, let me just get my this is my cup, Rogero. Thank you. Drink a sip of wine.
Let me show you V63, please.
Yes.
And does that appear to be a article?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a still publishing group. Okay.
Yes. An article from a website called ResearchGate. It's at researchgate.net.
Yeah.
You see that? And the first question, a poster asks, are students being warned about science publishing group? You see that?
Yes, yes, I see that. But I mean, this, I don't know, this is 4 years ago, and now is 2017. All this has no more value because it was removed by his own author. So to me, I mean, we can go on about science publishing and the best list, and you'll find tons of people. I mean,
We'll find tons of people,
criticize, you know, in the blogs.
okay, criticizing
me,
science publishing group? I just didn't know what you meant.
Discussing. Some of them criticize, some of them in favor.
Okay,
But to me, because they're bloggers, have no value.
okay.
But you know, apparently somebody else may think bloggers are important.
But you certainly never seen comments like this about Hadronic Press, have you?
Absolutely not.
So you would say Hadronic Press has a much better reputation than Science
Absolutely.
Publishing Group?
Absolutely. Unless somebody says, you
Object to the
know,
former
the only publishes book by his husbands, this type of thing, which, you know, they're free to say, but I can demonstrate that is absolutely wrong.
Aaron, are you picking me up on this? Okay, thank you.
And this is Journal of Food Science and Nutrition. I mean, there's no relevance to physics and mathematics.
You're a director of Thunder Energies, correct?
Yes, I am.
Just want to ask.
And a founder.
And a founder, good point.
Yes.
I just want to ask you about some Thunder Energies articles.
Okay.
Let's see if you recognize these. Let me show you V64. And once you've had a chance to look it over, I'll ask you a question about it.
Yes.
Does that appear to be a news release from Thunder Energies?
Let me just see.
Sure.
PR Web, yes it is, but I don't know to the end. Let me just see because, you know, Santilli, yes. And these press releases, I want to say that they're the same.
Thank you. I was wondering where Mr. Parrish's copy was. I
You know, they're the
inadvertently gave
same
it to you.
thing, yeah. And
Gotcha.
these press releases are
Oh, wait,
reviewed.
this is the original exhibit. It's
This
just got
press-
the original sticker on it.
Yeah, if you would keep the copy Mr. Parrish is handing you and give him the one that's in your right hand. Thank you very much.
Press releases are reviewed by these specific companies that specializes in sending press releases for public companies. We cannot just go anywhere and say, now you're going to have a press release. These press releases are certified or approved to be transmitted by them. So PR Web is one of the releases, and I don't remember exactly if this is the NASDAQ, because many companies like NASDAQ or OTCCQ, they have their own press releases company, and I'm not sure if this is NASDAQ. So
Okay.
they watch very well what they're doing.
Okay, but as a general matter, Thunder Energies put out press releases like this announcing developments with its products, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but this one for sure. The other one you're citing, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you another one so you
Yeah.
can take a look at it. V65, please. Does that appear to be
Yeah,
another?
this one as
news
well.
release? Okay,
Right.
okay.
Independent confirmed the detection. Yeah.
And do you know Pamela Fleming?
She used to work for us, and then she's gone. She was a person from. She was here with her husband from Ireland, and she would work for in different capacities in many times, and she would help with many tasks. But you know, and then she went back. I think she went back to Ireland, but I'm not sure. Definitely went out of the state.
Okay,
And I could not tell you exactly when.
okay.
This is, I don't know what this is. But I wasn't really involved a lot because, you know,
Okay.
I had a lot of things. So you can put just that.
Thank you. Let me show you V66 and ask if this appears to be another news release from Thunder Energies.
Discover invisible entities, yes.
Okay.
Thunder Energy has recently detected invisible entities in terrestrial. Vancouver.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
going too fast.
I'm trying to understand. Thunder Energy discovers invisible entities, and this was PR Web by this company, Vancouver company. Yes, you did.
And you were about to read I think it's the caption underneath the video frame.
Yes.
Thunder Energies Corp has recently detected invisible entities in
Yes.
our terrestrial environment
Yes.
with the revolutionary Santilli telescope.
Yes.
You see that? Were you involved in the observation of these invisible entities?
We travel together, my husband and I, and sometimes we use the telescope together, and I'm not sure if this particular event I was there or not, but see a lot of stuff.
Okay. But you've seen the images that were
Yes,
captured?
I did, and I saw them published as well, and I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. V67, please, if you would take a look at that and see if it appears to be another
Yes.
news release from the company.
Thunder Energy announces the sale and delivery of 2 pairs of proprietary telescopes to a filmmaker group.
Thunder Energies announces the delivery.
Of 2 pairs of proprietary telescopes to a filmmaker group.
What do you recall, if anything, about the sale of telescopes to a film group?
I know that this group, we had a lot of requests that you couldn't imagine with all these people going around. And this group asked to buy it. I know that everybody who tries to buy a telescope is always very clearly interviewed how they're going to use it, how do they need to be training using it. And that's all I remember. Not I remember, that's all I know. There were 3 people that purchased that, and that's it. That's all I remember.
Okay.
Then I'm going to object to the last question.
No
as to being-
technical question to my wife. You asked them to me.
Okay. I don't think that was a technical question,
was.
but I asked her what she
I
recalled.
disagree.
Okay.
Now, in addition to the news releases we've talked about from Thunder Energies, other companies, other publishers, websites reported on the invisible terrestrial entities, correct?
Yes, you saw it there in that list you gave me. Yes.
Yes. And not just academic journals, all kinds of organizations picked this up.
Yes.
Dr. Santilli, I think, was interviewed by websites regarding invisible terrestrial
I
entities.
don't recall, but possibly there were a lot of interviews
Okay.
about it.
Mrs. Santilli, I'm marking V68 and 69
Okay.
together because I believe these are parts 1 and 2 of the same article. If you would take a
Okay.
look.
Telescope observe otherwise invisible with intelligent movement.
I'm sorry, just if you're going to read something, I need you to speak up.
Ancient origins. I don't know. I never saw this one. Ancient origin reconstruction the story of humanity's past. I never saw this one. I never read it. I never did anything with this.
If we just look at the photographs on the middle of
Yeah.
the page, it looks like the skyline of Tampa, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
Okay,
possibly,
a city
yes.
skyline then?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yes.
there's an image in the top left corner of that photograph.
Yeah.
Do you recognize that?
I've seen it around, and it's interesting that they put it together. So doesn't mean that they was somewhere else and
Oh,
they
sure.
pasted there. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
But ancient
sorry.
origins.
But the headline is breaking news: new telescope observes otherwise invisible terrestrial entities with intelligent
Yeah, of
movement.
course.
You see
of
that?
course, yeah.
Okay.
A new report published in the. I mean, and also, I'm sure that these journals that ancient origins, talk with aliens, all these, they do their own thing. They drive the reader toward their own bias, their own interest. Definitely, they don't have any idea of the scientific and the mathematics and the whole thing that is here. So,
Okay.
to me, I don't give a lot of value. And of course, this is like very fertile terrain for a blogger.
Okay. The subject of invisible terrestrial entities is fertile terrain for a blogger. Is that what you said?
These type of journals that twist and create copies and paste up and have this news, breaking news with intelligent movement. Whoever said intelligent movement? Nobody ever said that. You see, this is what I'm trying to say. The bloggers, look at this. In search of Paul, Ranyanor Rising, Weird Tales, Witchcraft. I mean, definitely I'm not associated with any of that.
Okay. The phrase breaking news is from the Thunder Energy's announcement, though,
It's
isn't
from
it?
everywhere.
But
Everybody uses the word breaking news.
Sure.
So if they wrote breaking news, it's fine, but it's what comes after that is not fine.
Okay. Let me show you V70, which is, appears to be an internet article about an interview Dr. Santilli gave a website called Freedom UFOs, hosted by Mark Gray. Do you see that there?
Let me just read.
Sure.
Mathematics. Kathy, who is Kathy? Freedom. Oh yes, Freedom Interview. Right. I mean, these people that Freedom Interview is very famous all over. Is a radio show that publishes all over the country, and now there is publishers that transmit all over the country. It used to be a famous radio host that is no longer does it. So they took over this, and I'm not sure. It seems that here that was the advertisement. They pasted from everywhere. I'm looking here, but you know, this is like a very people are interested in this subject.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, Science Friday, which is a PBS show, just transmitted how to talk with aliens.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would like to have this put somewhere, because there are two professors here who participated to the talk. One was associate professor of philosophy at the University in Clemson, South Carolina. Another was the Bowling Green State University in Bowling Greens. And Jacob Misra is a research scientist with the Blue Marble Space Institute of Science in Clayton, Delaware. So it's like a very, very common thing that people do. They write.
You have to request to be on record.
Yes, I asked that. Yeah, I asked that to be part of the.
I didn't hear.
Oh, okay. No, I think it needs to be, because it's part of this whole culture of looking for aliens, looking for out of interstellar life. And I just want to recall that recently there was the SETI. I know if somebody is familiar with SETI. Was the search for intelligent.
Extraterrestrial intelligence?
In the space. They canceled it, and now they started again with the support of the universities and science groups. So I'm not worried about, I don't see that as a detraction.
Okay. I'll mark this V71.
Yeah, of course, I would like to be part of that.
Okay.
And that is PBC. PBC is quite reputable.
me show you V72 and ask. This appears to be an article from a website called UFO Casebook Forum.
UFO Casebook Forum.
Yes.
I have no idea. I mean, these people, they write, I'm sure, and they see, you see, this is funny, they see like someone who is kind cis-conf, and they write down, and is like a little animal that is the photo of this person. I mean, people have fun. There is another one that is a swamp rat.
That's what?
Swamp rat. There is another one that says someone is messing with force. Another one, Nick's member is offline, so I don't know. I mean, whatever they say doesn't mean anything to me. It's just one more, you know, lead. There's no value at all.
Just real quickly for the record, are you proposing these articles as the truth of the matter asserted, or are you just providing them as documentation of things out there that are mentioning Ruggiero Santilli?
He doesn't understand it. He's damaging himself by quoting things.
I'm just wondering if I need to go back and object to all of these due to hearsay.
One by one.
I'm going to have to do that.
Not me.
I'm just trying to figure out the purpose of what's happening here at this point.
It's very insidious.
Are you proposing these documents as truth of the matter asserted, or are you just proposing these documents as things out on the internet that are citing to Dr. Santilli?
The latter.
Okay, so as long as that's the case, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So
Is
he's
okay?
not.
Can you repeat that?
This is a waste of our time.
Yeah,
Can
but
you-
anyway, I'm glad because some of these things I didn't even know.
He's not.
And I think it's ridiculous
Just-
that
okay.
I spent time, but
Let me explain. All he's doing is providing these as citations to Dr. Santilli. He's not saying that these articles are true. He's not trying to propose that these articles are scientific. He's just saying that these are things that have cited to
in order
Dr.
to
Santilli.
see if he can damage the reputation of Santilli.
That's the intent.
Right, but
It's so clear.
The origin
So-
is not qualified.
Well, I can't-
They use-
hold on.
Of course.
Sorry.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
I
So
want to
I
talk.
object to this,
I want to talk,
absolutely.
otherwise we leave. Since the origin is not but totally unqualified, this gentleman, a little bit
Yeah.
dubious of the word, but this individually will quote this in against us.
Yeah, of course.
Because it does not appear to be. That's what it is. What I fear. So I request that you object about this type of quotation that we have no connection. My wife has no connection. I have no connection.
Yeah, and
What's the
also-
scheme-
you guys are talking at the same time. You can't
What's
take
the
it.
scheme that this gentleman has behind presenting all? One, it's okay. Now there are several. So we
Yeah.
have to decide whether to stay, Carla, or
No, I want to add one thing.
Go to the judge in presence
No,
of the
I want
judge.
to add one thing. That, in my opinion, all these things that relate to bloggers, relate to this website that are shady, they have nothing to do with the fact that my husband has been called stupid, and then under his name for the last 4 years, there was the sentence, the continuing stupidity of Ruggiero Santilli. If
In
this
the
is,
URL,
Zito,
sorry, Carla,
if
in
this
the
is
URL.
if this is meant to prove that, I highly object, because first of all, my husband is not stupid. Otherwise, he would have not written these books. So he cannot, Pepijn van Eerten, they cannot say that, and Pepijn van Eerten and Frank Israel cannot say that they're exercising their freedom of speech by saying that he's a stupid, because that is not stupid. They say that we cannot, that is a shady author because he pays for the books and for the publications. Doesn't apply either, because everybody pays in some way or another the publication, and he said that that the book that we pay for this book too. So this is like, this to me is
All my books are-
very
I was
wasteful.
paid royalties and all my.
No, I
I
don't.
never paid for my books.
No, what I'm trying to say, everybody, every author pays for open access books.
Huge sums for the paid. I was paid in royalties.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
all this is, I'm surprised that you're presenting this.
All right. Well, I'd like to get back to one more question on this
Yes,
topic,
please.
and then we'll move on.
But we
And
are
if Dr. Santilli, it's your wife's deposition now. If you could please keep your comments to a minimum. Mr. Parrish has already asked you to do
I
that.
have one final statement, and I'll be silent. You are borderline for our deal, very close to our decision to leave can go in front of the judge.
Well,
Very, very borderline. Very
I think
close.
you should discuss that with Mr. Parrish. That is your
It's our
decision.
decision,
Yes.
not Mr. Parrish, it's our decision.
Well, that's fine.
I'm very anxious to go through the judge.
Zitto.
So if your questions are clean, you will be respected.
this
If
is-
your questions are not clean, and you expect respect from us, take it again, take
Okay.
it all. Well, all those requests are extremely insidious.
Mr. Parrish,
And,
would you mind asking Dr. Santilli to keep his comments to a minimum while I'm taking a deposition of another witness?
just
So again, Dr. Santilli, what's happening is if you can discredit your wife's testimony by telling her things while she's testifying. So it's better for the record, it's better for everything if you allow her to answer the questions and then allow me to object. And also, if we need to bring those issues up before the judge later, we can do that through the objections.
but the latest series of questions that this
Right.
gentleman has are very objectionable. They're not.
I
not
understand.
clean.
I understand, and I've objected to anything that would be at issue there. So trust me, I'm objecting.
I don't
And
feel well.
I know.
If I feel bad,
Go and rest,
I will have
Ruggero.
this gentleman
Go and
to bring
rest,
the cost.
sa.
I will be out outside for a moment and I'll be back.
Vai a distendere, non tornare, don't worry.
Okay.
It's very-
Should we go off the record to deal with that?
Yes, at
Okay.
2:31 p.m. we are off the record.
Well, go ahead.
At 2:31 p.m. we are on the record.
Okay. Mrs. Santilli, I just have
Yes.
one other example on this topic, and then we can move on.
Yes.
Ask if this article from the UFO International Project
Project.
appears to be about Dr. Santilli's video concerning the invisible terrestrial entities.
You see, I don't know, UFO International Project, there are a lot of projects, and for example, the Truth Coming Art, let me just see. I don't know, yes, I see this, but doesn't mean anything because this is an international project, all new pipetting robot, I don't know what that means. The huge UFO ties, shadow, passenger planes, truth. I mean, this is a blogger, a blogger of a blogger of a blogger. So to me, it doesn't mean anything. And let me just say that. So it's part of this whole string of things that you just show.
Okay. But you do see Mr. Gaines' photo there and a
Yeah,
reference to Dr.
so what?
Santilli.
Because it's composed.
If you would let me
I'm
finish my
sorry.
question. That's okay.
I'm a mom, I told you.
That's okay.
I never let people talk too much.
A photo of Dr. Gaines and then further down a reference to Dr. Santilli, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what does it mean?
That's the only other question
Yeah,
I
well,
have
there's
for
no
you.
relevance for him to call Maniagazi pyramid scheme because there is something written in a blogger.
Were you involved in gathering documents in response to our subpoena to the Institute for Basic Research?
Oh, you see that? Subpoena for Institute for Basic Research. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I don't remember because I think it has to do with corresponding with Shelley, right? And I correspond with Shelley on many, many subjects. So
Sure.
if she used that, I have no idea. But definitely I did not sign for that.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and mark this as an exhibit. Let me ask you if looking at it that refreshes your recollection any, or if not, we'll just move on. This is, the first page is the return of service, and then it's followed by the actual subpoena. And see if you recognize
Mary
the
Liar,
subpoena.
yes, because these people are Mary Liar are the registered agent for also for Hadronic Press, but they are not for Thunder Energies.
Okay.
So I don't know what that is.
Okay, if you'll look to the page that's numbered 3, it's actually
Yes,
the last
yes.
page, and there's a list of documents there. And again, I'm just trying to find out whether you personally were involved in this. You may not have been. Do you recall working on gathering documents in response to this subpoena?
No, I really don't recall. But as I said,
Okay.
I have been working very hard with to provide documents of all those 20 probably gathering requests that you have made. So I don't recall if I was part of this as well. So let me see, a correspondence from Pepijn van Eert, document mentioning Pepijn van Eert. No. I don't recall. I have to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Okay. Let me ask you if the subpoena was sent and we did receive a response letter from Mr. Parrish's law firm. I'm just trying to figure out who the person was at Institute for Big Sick Research who searched for documents, whether it was you or Dr. Santilli.
Probably both, but
Okay.
I don't remember exactly if I look. As I said, many of the documents, I don't know. As I said, I work with Shelley on gathering many documents.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you the letter that I received from Mr. Parrish's firm about this subpoena. And you'll see that in the first paragraph, Mr. Parrish says that Professor Santilli, the owner, has informed us after a diligent search of the following response. And in the next paragraph, there are no responsive documents that they know of. And since the letter used the word they, I was wondering if you were among the people involved in the search.
No responsive document. I think is they, when you talk about a company and you don't know how many people are involved, you say they, but I don't know what they is.
Okay.
I mean,
That's fine.
You,
If
you
you
have
don't,
to
if you
ask,
weren't involved, that's
probably
fine.
you have to ask Mr. Parrish what he meant when he said they.
Okay. Joe, I think you've been volunteered to be deposed.
Yes, of course. I mean, he's the signature, right? He wrote it, so maybe somebody, you know.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you about one of the names here, J.V. Kadiasvili. Do you know who that is?
No,
Okay. So you've never met anyone named J.V. Kadiasvili?
no, that I recall, no.
Have you heard that name before?
Yes, of course,
Okay.
especially after Pepijn van Eert started to say that did not exist, so I heard very well, but I don't know. You see, starting from the 90s, Roger and I, we traveled in Russia many times. We went to Moscow, to Dubna, and there were a lot of people there, and they spoke Russian, so I cannot say.
Okay. Are you aware of Hadronic Press, your company, publishing any books by J.V. Kadiasvili?
Yes, it did in the past,
Okay.
but I never really met him, and Ruggero is the editor, so he's the one who, of all, if he probably read and made some correction or something, but I wasn't involved,
Okay.
actually, with the author themselves. And I think is that the year was probably the Russian time, was a long time ago.
Okay. Ms. Santilli, I thought I had a copy of the cover of this book, which is why I paused for a moment. I'm going to show you the actual book, and maybe perhaps during a break we'll get a copy made.
Yes. Okay.
But does this appear to be the book you're referring to?
Yes, you see, Academy of Sciences of Ukraine, Institute for Theoretical Physics. This was a book published by them and distributed here by Hadronic Press, but it was really, I was not involving actually correcting or reading, and we knew Cadesville Institute of, that's all I can say. You see, we talk about 1997, I was telling you. Mm-hmm. That's the time when we went, and we went to the Academy of Ukraine, where there was Professor Moskalyuk, who was involving many of these things, so I really don't know.
Okay.
And then we had several other people in Russia that were working on these books. Santilli, Isotopes, Contemporary Algebra, Geometry and Relativity. Wow, long time ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Just a couple more questions about the back cover.
It's very good, yeah.
You see there that Kadiashvili is identified as a permanent associate member of the Institute's Division of Mathematics. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if that was a paid position?
They never, no, it was never, nobody is ever paid, because is a non-profit organization that really has no profit, nothing. It's just is a loose association of various scientists and professors that work on this subject.
Okay. Would Hadronic Press have paid royalties to Professor Kadiashvili for this
No,
book?
for sure, because we were dealing with the Academy of Science of Ukraine, so they will have to do something with him.
Would you have paid royalties to the Academy?
I really don't recall. It's possible. It's possible that we sold the books and give them a percentage, but 1997, a lot of time went by, and I've been very busy in doing other things.
So you wouldn't have any records about any royalties?
No.
Okay.
Wow, interesting that you still find it. Wow.
The address for Hadronic Press that's on there on the back cover.
Exactly, yes.
35246 U.S. Highway 19.
Yes.
I think we talked about this with Dr. Santilli. I just want to make sure I got it right. That's a mailbox?
Yes,
location?
It actually is not just a mailbox. It's a UPS center where they do a variety of things. And in fact, you see number 115, they have about 10 boxes, small and 10 bigger. And if we need to ship something, we go there. If they, the advantage of that, and the reason we use it, is that we travel a lot. So if there are documents, they hold it for us. And when we arrive, we keep it. We go there and we take it from them, and it's very safe and very legal.
Thank you. Tell you what, so we do this in order. Joe, let me propose that we set aside for the moment exhibit number 76, I'm sorry, 76, V76.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll copy the front and back cover of this book at a break, and then I'll mark it. Let me ask you, Mrs. Santilli, about your use of the internet. And I know you've already given us some testimony on this in interrogatories. Yes. You've told us you sometimes use a pen name, an author name.
Did I say
Carla
that?
Santilli. I believe on your interrogatory answers, yes.
Did I say that I use a pen name?
I think. Well, you use the Latin pseudonym.
What?
Yeah, let me.
No, pseudonym. I never use any pseudonym.
Okay.
At all.
All right.
And that's all.
Well, let's mark
the only time that I may have used some pseudonym somewhere when I was responding to someone in some blogs or something like everybody else. So I don't really know.
I think we're saying the same thing.
To tell you the truth, if you tell me which were the name, I will not know.
Okay.
Because I'm really not eager.
If you would look at your answer to our first interrogatory to you.
Yeah, plaintiff have been known by the following: Carla Santilli, yes. Carla Gandilio, yes. Carla Gandilio Santilli, and Carla G. Santilli. Yes, these are all names because in Italy, women use their maiden name only.
Sure. And then you went on to say you've also used some pseudonyms and some blogs in an attempt to contribute
Where
to
did I
Wikipedia.
say that?
It's at the bottom of the first page.
I'm going to object to the form of
Yes,
the
you
question.
see, I just told you that.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes.
So you see, I didn't look at that.
Sure.
before.
No, that's fine. I just want to, if you would read that paragraph into the record.
I also have used some pseudonym in some blogs in attempts to contribute to Wikipedia. However, I did not keep record and I do not remember them. I do not think it is illegal to use pseudonym in blogs as everybody uses them.
Okay.
That's all.
Very good. Thank you.
Did we attach this as an exhibit? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's 76.
That's V77.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Let me skip. I'm sorry. I'm going to take this number off and maybe interrogatory answer. V77.
Well, pen name is something very different when you use an article using your different name. I never did that.
Okay. So you never commented on Pepijn van Erp's articles?
Yes, I did. And
Okay.
I told him so that I was Carla Santilli. I wrote him a few times. He replied to me, and then I stopped because one time he said that my husband was a liar and that he was a coward. So I didn't ask him. I didn't write him anymore. And
Okay.
I have those emails.
Did you use a pseudonym when you were posting on his
Yes.
blog? Do you recall what that pseudonym was?
No, I don't recall. I
Okay.
mean, maybe one or two times, and then frankly, I couldn't care less.
Okay. Was it perhaps Frank Stone?
I don't recall. It's possible, but I don't recall.
Okay.
As I said, it's not illegal, so
No,
I don't feel bad
agree.
at all.
I agree. And it's very common for people to use pen names.
Right, but you know, I don't really have time to do a lot of blog writing or blog reading.
Let me show you V78 and see if this appears to be the comments you're referring to that you submitted.
Let me see, Flintstone. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's possible because actually, Adron 1 at Mac is my email. So now that you told me, I remember. So, but that's it. I always was very polite all the time. Yeah, develop, corda, babà. Yeah, you know, ride bene che ride ultimo. Yes. So those are obviously gives out. That is me.
Okay. That's right. So
Italian. So you want me to look more? Yeah, let me just look more, make sure that it's not something that I didn't do.
and for the record, we've got 3 pages of comments, and you're seeing the email address hadron1@mac.com on those,
Yeah,
correct?
right, that's it, yeah.
I'm sorry, 5 pages.
Right, yeah, and that's why, you know, he was always warned that what he was writing was wrong, that he was calling Ponzi scheme, Gas Corporation, and so forth. You see?
I'm sorry, for the record, you
And
represented...
also, you see the point here?
Carla, hold on just a second.
I'm sorry.
Just for the record, you mentioned that the email address was hadron1@mac.com,
Correct.
But then there's also one that's hsdron1@mac.com.
Oh, good catch.
Where is that? No, I don't have anything else. That's the only number. Let me see. Hadron. Where is the one that you just mentioned?
HS
It's just a mistake.
and HS.
No, it's just the S instead of the A.
But hadron1@mac.com is
Yes, it's mine.
an email address. we
I
use.
wrote it everywhere.
Okay.
That was mine. Right. I mean, I stepped it up when I see the continuing stupidity of Ruggero Santilli, then obviously I had the right to reply.
Sure. Did you ever use the name Luca Petronio when
No.
commenting? Okay.
Absolutely not even know what that is.
Okay. In fact, when we asked Mr. Parrish's office for the opportunity to pose Luca Petronio, Shelley, his assistant, wrote us back and said, you don't know of any such person, right?
Exactly. No, I don't know. That's, yeah.
Right. Okay.
It was a time which we had a lot of people in our offices in Maniegas. We had 65 employees, so who knows what was going on in that sense, you know. People were very upset about the fact that these blogs, they were ruining their shares and the reputation of the company, so.
Let me show you that on the comments that were submitted. Again, we're looking at V78. Underneath the your email address is what I've learned is called an IP address. It's the number 70.127.10.179. Do you see that?
Where is that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Where you see your email address, do you see those
You
numbers?
see on top, but I don't know my IP because
No, that's fine. I'm just asking if you see that number there. Yeah, that number?
I'm confused.
Sure. I'm
about
just
the
asking
question.
if you, as you look at that piece of paper,
Yeah.
you see on it under your email address 70.127.160.179.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me show you an exhibit that we've just marked V79 and ask if you see that same IP address. Sorry, Jim.
Listen, I see it, but definitely it's not me. You see, I mean, this is, how can you tell me that this is 100% is true? I don't know. I never saw this email. I never saw any of this. I'm only using my, what is the IP address?
I'm not allowed to answer questions.
Oh, okay, no, I think that, yeah, I see that. But you see, my understanding is that the IP address relates to a large area. So you could be here and you having that IP address, and two offices down the road that could be the same IP address. So has no meaning. Maybe I wrote this while I was at Maniegas and there were people all over having the same IP. But it's not definitely the IP is not my computer.
Okay.
It's like a general area. As far as I know, I'm not an expert.
I understand. So as you look at these on V79, these two posts, you did not write these posts.
Excuse me?
You did. What I understand you to be saying is you did not write
Absolutely
the posts on
not.
I just
V79.
need you to let him finish his question before you answer.
Say it again.
I understand that you did. You're saying you did not write these posts that are on
These two?
V79. Correct. You just need to answer out loud for the court report.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. They were probably written by someone in our general area in the office. But
Just looking at them, and do you have any ideas as to who might have written them?
say it again.
If you could look at them, do you have any idea who might have written them?
Object to the form of the question.
No, I don't.
Okay.
As I said, there were a lot of people very upset about what was going on. So I don't know. Foul, supporter, never employed, Jewish physicist, Christian Corda. Absolutely not. I mean, I wouldn't write something like this. And I don't know anybody who would write like this
Okay.
that I know. Again, I don't think this is related to the fact that my husband is called stupid and the company is called a pyramid scheme. I mean, I understand that you want to have it, but again, it's another attempt to discredit us, to discredit our office, so I'm not happy.
Will we take a break for a moment? That's all right.
No, I really don't need it, but if you do.
I'd like to get some water if that's all right.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm getting
At
some water.
2:55 p.m., we are off the record.